Well, over the next period, we're going to be taking a focus on our clubs at Football Brisbane, and we're straight out of Compton today for our first stop. We're at Compton Park, the home of Logan Metro. I'm with Sam Escobar from Logan Metro. And Sam, the club, it's coming up to a really big milestone next year.
It is. We're all sort of gearing up to our 10-year anniversary. Obviously, 10 years coming. It's been an interesting 10 years. We're doing a lot of reflecting and soul-searching recently. So, yeah, really proud of where we come from and where we're going the next 10 years.
That's a good way to probably start about where the club's philosophy is and where it's come from. So how did the club form 10 years ago, and what's sort of been the philosophy along the way?
Yeah, so there was 5 of us that started the club. There was myself, my old man who's a president, Elsa, our secretary, Adrian, our treasurer, and Pat, our former head coach. So we were playing a bit of social football down the road at Oates Park. Got a bit of a niche to start a club. So there was a bit of a need for a club to represent this sort of area and to be really proud from Logan, and that's where it started from. Started, without a ball, without $1 in the bank, and sort of just grew it to what it is now.
And that has been one thing that the club has had very big in their philosophy about bracing the whole of the community. So how do you feel the club plays its part within the Logan community, which is obviously quite multiculturally diverse?
Yeah, it's in our mission statement, Proudly Logan, We're proud to represent the area. Again, there was no one really doing that to represent the area, and we sort of do it now across it. It's not on the pitch, obviously with our first team and our teams, down from there, we sort of try have a good representation of Logan, but it's across everything we do on our social platforms, on our content, just really trying to represent the area and give the area a platform, not only on the field, but off the field as well.
So while the Capital League men's team might be the flagship of the club, it's really a club that embraces all of the teams here at the club, such as, the women's, the juniors. You see plenty of posts on social media. How is it important that you have an all-inclusive club that looks at the whole club, not just one particular team?
It's super important. I think every team, every player, every person involved in the club makes up the bigger piece. And I think, again, using those platforms to promote what we do and tell the stories. There's amazing stories from around the sixes all the way up. And we're sort of, we're proud to tell those stories across our platforms and give them the platform to tell their story.
So just touching on those stories, obviously we talked about the multicultural nature of Logan. Just how many nationalities are involved at the club or represented at the club? It's, as I say, quite diverse, isn't it?
Super diverse. Too many to count, to be honest. I don't even know, but it happens quite organically. Just the players we draw, obviously being in the heart of Woodridge helps. There's a lot of walking distance for these young kids and adults to sort of come here and play their football and play the sport they love. But it's a great place to be. I've learned so many different languages while I've been here and come to know so many cultures, which is what's beautiful about this area, about our sport and about this country.
And I guess that philosophy has really captured sponsors and those wanting to be involved in the club. How important has it been to get those sponsors, and what have they sort of bought into with the vision?
Yeah, I think with our sponsors, anyone in general, we sort of try to sell them the bigger picture and the journey we've been on. And I think we capture that quite well, like I said, and they're super important to our story. And again, it's not just a financial investment or an in-kind donation. It's really coming on board and supporting what we're trying to do and come on the journey. And we're super grateful with the sponsors we have, new ones, but also the ones that have been on the journey since back in the day, from the early years. They're still here, 6 seasons on, still investing and committing to the club.
And the club really does think outside the square, particularly on its social media. I was lucky enough to be involved in the virtual presentation at the end of last year that obviously couldn't happen face-to-face due to COVID. What is that outside of the box thinking that the club members and the committee sort of use that might be able to be used by other clubs in how they approach their philosophy at their club?
Yeah, I think we're blessed, first of all, with people who have that innovative sort of brain and sort of that knowledge as well. And I think it's super important to, not just think of us as little grassroots clubs. There's opportunity there to create things and do things which obviously get attention from the greater public, but also from sponsors, giving them a return on their investment by doing these initiatives. And, our podcast, the virtual presentation like we did, and, next year heading into our 10-year anniversary, we're hoping to do a lot more of that stuff and different stuff.
So next year will be a big year. There's plenty of stuff happening in the background. There's a reason why Logan Metro is called Logan Metro, because the original home of Logan Metro was down at the Logan Metro Sports Complex, a place that Football Brisbane is very familiar with. And I think there's hopefully, I guess the club is looking at potentially trying to secure the premises that Football Brisbane was moving into. How big a move for the club would that be if you could get back into your spiritual home?
Yeah, massive. It's no secret that it's a public tender process they're going through at the moment, trying to fill the facility again. It's quite a sort of romantic story how it's all coming together, heading into our 10-year anniversary. But just reflecting back on where we've come from, we started the club 10 years ago from that facility. When we were there was just 2 portaloos. There wasn't even a tap in the place. We were lucky enough in our first year to get a donation of a canteen trailer thing from Coca-Cola, and that was our clubhouse, our storage, our office, our change rooms, was everything for us. To coming across here to Compton Park, where we inherited a pretty rundown facility and sort of making it what it is today. Not the flashes of facilities, but our little home, and which we've invested in, and with council and other sponsors as well, to potentially going back to a multi-million-dollar facility. And it's come to that point where I think we've outgrown this place. We have a lot of growing pains over the last few seasons where parking's an issue, neighbours, people parking on driveways and stuff's becoming a bit of an issue. So it's all sort of coming together, and I'm really proud of the application and the pitch we put to council on why we should go there. So it's out of our hands now, and I hope hopefully it comes together and in time for our 10-year anniversary.
Well, hopefully some good news there. Sam, thanks for joining us today, and it's wonderful to see that Logan Metro really is a part of the local community.